Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha and the King of Simplicity. When you hear the name Warren Buffett, you might picture a man in a tailored suit, hunched over spreadsheets, making billion-dollar moves before breakfast. But the reality is far more fascinating, and frankly, a lot more relatable. Known as the Oracle of Omaha, Buffett is one of the richest and most respected investors in the world. Yet he lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958 and drinks Coca-Cola like it's going out of style. Buffett isn't just a billionaire. He's a living lesson in humility, patience, and the power of long-term thinking. Let's dive into the life, philosophy, quirks, and legacy of the man who turned investing into an art. And did it without losing his small-town charm. The early years. A businessman before puberty. Warren Edward Buffett was born on August 30th, 1930, in Omaha, Nebraska. His father, Howard Buffett, was a stockbroker and later a U.S. congressman, and his mother, Layla, was a homemaker. From an early age, Buffett showed signs of being anything but ordinary. At just 6 years old, he bought packs of chewing gum from his grandfather's grocery store and sold them door to door. By the time he was 11, he had bought his first stock, 3 shares of City Service Preferred for himself and 3 for his sister. He wasn't just dabbling in stocks, he was obsessed. At 13, while other boys were riding bikes and chasing baseballs, Buffett was filing his first tax return. By high school, he'd already tried several small businesses, including selling Coca-Cola and delivering newspapers. He even bought a pinball machine and placed it in a barber shop, later expanding to multiple locations. If this doesn't scream future billionaire, what does? College, mentors, and the birth of an investment legend. Buffett attended the University of Nebraska, then went on to Columbia Business School, where he studied under Benjamin Graham, widely considered the father of value investing. Graham's book The Intelligent Investor became Buffett's Bible. But it wasn't just the numbers that stuck with him. It was Graham's idea that the market is there to serve you, not instruct you. That lesson alone would shape Buffett's investment strategy for the rest of his life. After graduation, Buffett offered to work for Graham for free. Graham said no. Eventually, though, Buffett landed a job at his mentor's firm. But by the time he was in his mid-20s, Buffett returned to Omaha and started his own investment partnership, with a style that was a blend of Graham's teachings and his own gut instincts. The Berkshire Hathaway story, from textile mill to powerhouse. Buffett's journey with Berkshire Hathaway began with a fluke. It was a struggling textile company, and he initially invested because he saw a short-term gain. But when management tried to shortchange him on a buyback deal, Buffett did something unexpected. He bought more shares just to gain control, and eventually took over the whole company. At first, Berkshire Hathaway's textile business was a money pit. But Buffett slowly pivoted the company away from textiles and toward insurance, a more scalable and profitable sector. He acquired Geico, a move that proved crucial, and then began to build an empire of companies and stocks under the Berkshire umbrella. Today, Berkshire owns or holds major stakes in companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, Bank of America, American Express, and Kraft Heinz. But unlike typical investors, Buffett doesn't just buy and sell on a whim. He buys what he understands and holds it for the long haul. His famous line? Our favorite holding period is forever. Buffett's philosophy, simple not easy. One of the most surprising things about Buffett is how simple his advice is. He's not preaching complicated algorithms or lightning-fast trades. He's preaching patience, discipline, and common sense. Here are some core principles that Buffett lives and invests by. Buy businesses, not stocks. He looks at stocks as pieces of businesses, not numbers on a screen. Stick to your circle of competence. Buffett only invests in industries he understands. No crypto, no trendy tech, no get-rich-quick schemes. Be greedy when others are fearful. He's known for making bold moves during market crashes, buying undervalued assets when everyone else is running scared. Live below your means. Even as a billionaire, he drives a modest car, eats McDonald's, and lives in the same house he bought over 60 years ago. His approach might not be flashy, but it works. In fact, it's worked well enough to make him one of the wealthiest people on the planet, with a net worth that's consistently ranked among the top 5 globally. A lifestyle of modesty and routine. What's even more fascinating about Buffett is how grounded he is. Despite his fortune, he has no private jet, He once jokingly called his company jet the indefensible. No luxury mansions, and no yacht parties in the Mediterranean. He eats like a teenager. His typical breakfast includes McDonald's, and he drinks several cans of Coca-Cola a day. He even plays bridge regularly with his friend Bill Gates. His daily routine is almost boring, but that's kind of the point. He spends about 80% of his day reading newspapers, books, reports. He consumes information like it's oxygen. His advice to aspiring investors? Read constantly. Generosity and legacy. Buffett isn't just rich, he's generous. In 2006, he made headlines when he pledged to give away more than 99% of his fortune to philanthropic causes, mostly through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He started the Giving Pledge with Gates, encouraging other billionaires to commit to giving away at least half their wealth. He's often said that he wants to leave his children enough to do anything, but not so much that they do nothing. That mindset reflects his belief in hard work, independence, and making a difference. Even in philanthropy, Buffett sticks to what he knows, keeping it simple, smart, and impactful. Lessons we can all learn from Warren Buffett. You don't need $1 billion to start thinking like Warren Buffett. His wisdom applies to everyday life just as much as it does to Wall Street. Here are a few takeaways anyone can benefit from. Live within your means. Wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Invest in yourself. Buffett believes the best investment you can make is in your own knowledge and skills. Think long-term. Whether it's relationships, careers, or finances, good things take time. Be ethical. Buffett's rule. Lose money for the firm, and I will be understanding. Lose a shred of reputation, and I will be ruthless. Stay curious and keep learning. The man is in his 90s and still reads 5 hours a day. That says it all. Final thoughts. The humble billionaire. Warren Buffett is proof that you don't need to be flashy or aggressive to succeed. In a world obsessed with speed, he preaches patience. In a culture that glorifies extravagance, he models modesty. And in a financial world often marred by greed, he stands as a symbol of integrity and long-term vision. He's not just a great investor. He's a great example of how to live a life of purpose, simplicity, and quiet success. Whether you're just starting your career or planning your retirement, there's something in Buffett's journey for all of us to admire, learn from, and maybe even emulate.